The way we view omni-channel is really looking at a combination of channels, devices, and formats, and how we can break down the barriers across all of that in order to drive performance for our advertisers. So some of the things that we're doing there is first identifying a common metric that we can use across the different channels, different devices, and formats. So as we optimize and look to drive that towards a specific KPI or goal, we have a common metric to gauge and evaluate the performance and then adjust performance and bidding strategies in order to hit that goal.
So when you say a metric, what does that mean?
So there's a variety of different metrics we can use. If you look at it from the marketing funnel, we have ones that are set up for branding. A lot that we're doing there within TV is around either brand lift, incremental reach, or increasing GRPs. We also have a team that's focused on developing custom KPIs, something we call our COI, which is a custom outcome indicator. And we have a variety of different analysts, data scientists that work very closely in collaborating with clients, understanding how we can take different types of data that they have available to them and understand how we can connect that to media. And with that, we essentially develop a custom metric that's connected as closely as possible as a proxy to a business outcome. And we then use that as a consistent metric that we can optimize across channels.
What's the value of an identity graph, if I may ask?
I mean, it's extremely important. The identity graph is really a person graph. So it allows us to take all of these disparate data points and tie it to one identifier. And the reason why that's so important is because, we really focus on the consumer experience and making sure that we can reach a user, have a consistent message to them, and then also follow them throughout that marketing journey is extremely important. So we don't want to make sure, we want to make sure that we're not putting different types of messages in front of the same consumer. We want to make sure that we're not overexposing them to the message and having a bad brand experience. So being able to have that common identifier, measure, track, and optimize that experience for the user is extremely important.
Great, and tell us what you're doing in the premium video space, particularly the OTT space.
Yeah, so a big focus of ours is, been around how do we replicate the TV experience within digital. So we've created offerings that are focused purely on FEP. We have an audience-powered TV solution where we only run on FEP content, and it really connects the world of connected TV into digital. And so making sure that we have a premium environment that we can operate in is really important. And not only important for us, but important for brands to make sure that we're replicating that TV experience across all environments.
And finally, how do you sort of see the changing demands of marketers, of your clients? What are they looking for, and sort of what do you need to do for them, and maybe what's next?
Yeah, so the biggest shift that I've seen is really around how they can bring their data to the table and use that as a source to help drive different types of planning as well as optimizations in the campaign. So evolving from just demo optimization or demo planning, we're now starting to incorporate audience attributes, different types of interests, buying behaviors that we're seeing on behalf of these brands and the consumers they're looking to connect with. And then how can we take that and use that as a mechanism to plan across different video environments? So can we maximize the reach of a user on connected TV devices? What does that user's consumption patterns look like on mobile? Are there different formats that are generating a better response for that user? So as soon as we understand what the core goal is, as well as the key attributes of that user, we can use that as a way to really customize a media plan for the brands that we're working with.
And one more question. When you look at sort of the ecosystem and you look at, and you work with a number of third-party providers, and there's a lot of innovation going, where are the holes? What do you think needs to be innovated that would help Xaxis or help the industry? Are there any kind of wish lists that you might have?
Yeah, I would say the two are probably most around measurement and planning. I think in order for people to really adopt omni-channel solutions, they need to understand that there's a metric they can gauge it against. Is this really working? Why am I investing into these channels or this type of approach? And so I think really for any type of new or emerging channel to be adopted, measurement is at the foundation of that. I think then that ties right back into planning, and how can we take that common metric, how can we take that measurement and use it as a way to start planning and buying across new types of opportunities that they're looking to go to market with. So I think measurement has come a really long way, especially in the TV space, and how we bring that together with digital. I think there's a lot more that we'll see from that. It's ever evolving, but now it's starting to go into the different types of tool sets, different types of buying platforms that we can bring that metric to and use it as a core mechanism for planning and buying.
So tell us about sort of how the addressable world is developing in terms of where brands enter that addressable world, or the one-to-one versus sort of the top of the funnel.
Yeah, so we actually have a brand, an auto client of ours, that they're taking a whole new approach to how they want to tackle addressable TV, and they're actually starting with the consumer. They're starting with how do they plan their addressable dollars first, and then use that as a way to move up funnel to more one-to-many type channels. So it's really interesting in the way that they've developed a custom metric where they've deemed success across all different channels. And now they're using that as a way to understand how can they maximize their reach against these core audiences, all these subsegments that they've created for their brand. As soon as they've realized that they've reached those users and really gotten to a positive point of exposure, how can they take the rest of their marketing dollars and move that up funnel to do more broad-based reach campaigns on, let's say, linear TV or broadcast. So it's really flipping it on its head and going, instead of really broad, down to the granular type of targeting that a lot of advertisers are doing. They're starting more granular and expanding up the funnel.
Big national advertisers.
Yes, yeah.